This disclaimer was copied without permission. Don't forget to subscribe.
All right, we had an alcohol-free beer, well, practically. So we found something different this time. This one has 12%.
Yeah, so on average they're just...
That's like having two beers, approximately. So this is a Toasted Maple Stout from Lervig. That would be a Norwegian beer, and a good friend of mine who was visiting me at New Year, and I've got a live stream of that.
19 rules of football.
Okay.
It's not called soccer, but while you Yanks, we call it football.
No, it's called soccer. S-U-C.
Yeah, but they call football when I play Backbay, when I was supposed to play with the...
Yeah, the sport where they always keep the ball under their arm.
He brought me some Norwegian beers, which were, however, regular supermarket strength, you could say, which means it was on 4.5% alcohol, which is the strongest you can sell in supermarkets in Norway. This would have been bought at Vinmonopolet, though it isn't, because it's bought in Denmark, so you can buy it in regular shops here.
But Lervig, they strike me as having very high quality beer.
They do. Yes, they
Got
do.
a few disappointments, I can't name them, I don't remember. But usually Lervig, that means it's going to be good.
Mm-hmm. Let's just see about that.
Toasted maple, do they like use burnt maple wood?
Maple leaves, maybe? The Canadians won't like that. So there's something orangey and black.
Believe it or not, the maple is prevalent here.
It is?
Yes. It's like tasting maple syrup, almost.
Maple syrup is good. Oh, Neil will just love this. One of my Canadian friends. Oh wow! Oh, this is good. This. Yeah, you're right.
Although that's the only thing I can smell.
And not only the syrup, but also the wood.
Wood?
I think I can smell the wood. Yeah.
I'm not sure about that. Well,
maple. Some wood, and that just might be maple wood, but I do catch pick up some wooden notes, and also the syrup, definitely. Oh wow! Oh, that's one of those that will knock you over. Wow!
I can sort of imagine if we had just poured maple syrup into a glass.
Wow!
And this is tasting like pure maple syrup now. It's almost bad. Sorry.
They really should put this in.
Let's put a warning label on it.
Yeah, well, and instead of putting it in a can, maybe they should put it in what do you call this? A bag to squeeze out. Doesn't really do well in pouring, does it? A syringe might do it as well, yeah. Maybe that's a sausage so that you could cut in pieces. Wow. Yeah,
it's different.
Wow. So did they actually put some maple syrup in this?
It tastes very much like it. Could be maple sugars, perhaps.
Oh my God. They put black print on a dark grey can. I mean, really, don't they? I mean, we're kind of the market for this, aren't we? Middle-aged men, and
Yes.
they printed like this. My goodness, they're not doing it. They're not making it easy for their market potential, are they? Maple, hops, maple. There is indeed maple in it. Maple lactose, vanilla yeast, okay, barley, malt, hops, maple lactose, and vanilla and yeast.
Oh,
Okay, yeah.
okay, so there's maple lactose. How do you do that?
Maple lactose. Well, maybe there was a
maple and lactose, right?
Maple and lactose. Yeah, you're right. Wow.
But maple, that would be like there's probably maple syrup.
It's actually becoming a bit much. I mean,
Yes,
I really like.
It's too much.
I have to say I like my stouts heavy and well sweet. But this is maybe taking it a bit too far.
I read this book on brewing. It was something like Extreme Brewing or something. I don't recall the title exactly. I think it was in that book where the author said that if you really want to brew extreme beer, don't go overboard with flavors. They need to still be just a hint. Extreme is what you try, not how hard you try it. It's not like how much you put into it.
I understand. Yeah, I get it.
So, and this is like, it should have. I like it if it has a little more than a hint of whatever taste it's supposed to have, but
You can take it too
overdoing
far,
it. Yeah, they're taking it too far here.
Wonder if Aaron Ra would like this.
Is he Canadian?
No, he's Texan.
Oh.
But he likes really.
If
He
you like
likes
maple.
He likes very dark and heavy stouts.
Texan, that's probably the opposite of Canadian.
Yeah, well, he's an atypical Texan, I would say.
Yeah, he's not born again, for example.
He wouldn't be, no.
Far from it.
They actually got some very good people in Texas. Have you ever watched the Atheist Experience on YouTube?
I never have. I usually steer clear of atheists, believe it or not. I mean, an atheist myself, but I think there are just too many of them are, excuse me, they're a little too Dawkins-esque.
Right.
They criticize religion, which is very good, but they criticize religion on religion's own terms and without understanding what they're talking about. It just makes them sound stupid. It makes them sound almost religious, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, well, I will.
Not
I will
everyone,
give you
of course. Aaron Ra, for example, does not fit this description.
And the other good people in Austin who are doing the Atheist Experience are very much in his tradition, I'd say. So maybe you should give it a watch.
Possibly. Although there isn't much I need to not know.
I understand. I mean, you can use your after all, you can use your time better than just be on YouTube.
Yeah, it's like I don't believe in God, so well, I don't need to be reminded of that.
No.
And also, well, I think all of the arguments have been set forth by now. There is nothing left to discuss.
Yeah. Well, one discussion that takes up a lot of space in the atheist community is the historicity of Jesus. And I don't care that much about it, really, to be honest. But I understand why. I mean, if you could actually prove that Jesus never existed, of course that would be a very, very heavy blow to Christianity. But even if he existed, and you could get proper proof of that, you would still need to prove that he was actually divine in any way.
Yeah.
So it's not that it's that important after all. I think it's an interesting academic discussion, and it's not that it's completely useless, but it's mostly useful as an academic discussion.
Yes, because how many Christians today are like the early Christians of like well, even before St. Paul, they weren't even Christians. There was this original Jewish cult who referred all the teachings to some guru named Jesus, which everyone was named at the time. It was either Jesus or Judas.
Yes.
And there were like lots of prophets at the time. So many of them would necessarily have been named Jesus. And there would necessarily have been several cults following someone named Jesus at the time. So
Probably, yeah.
So yes, so much that is known with certainty that there was a cult around the year 3050, you can probably enlighten me here, that attributed their teachings to a guy named Jesus.
Yeah,
They believe
Paul would be the most prominent member.
Well, yeah, except he was only a member after said Jesus had died.
Yeah, well.
So he didn't know him personally ever. Right.
Well, one of the questions is whether he actually, died and he wasn't made up all along. Because there are actually people who believe that, and they actually argue their cause quite well.
Well, I like the idea of trying to take two different approaches. One is the truly historical approach, which is what can we prove? And that is the only thing we know with certainty is that there was some Jewish cult who considered them the only true Jews, we've heard that before, and who believed that their Messiah would be the literal king of Judea before they died. Now, it turns out that never happened. So that's all that's known with certainty as far as I know. And then there is the sort of the evangelical Jesus. How much can you trust? Well, this is how when you look at a myth, which parts are kind of credible, which parts are evidently not true. Well, the part that he died and then got resurrected, yeah, that's not true. On the other hand, there's this, he got crucified. And
That's quite possible.
Now, first of all, this is possible because if he was sort of this revolutionary or speaking against the Romans, and yeah, that's what they used to do to people like that. Also, it would be so damn embarrassing to have their future king crucified and failing. There's just no way you can fail that badly as a new religion. So you do anything to avoid saying this.
Oh, right.
So the fact that this is actually not only being mentioned, it's described in detail, that sort of lends credibility to, yeah, that probably was some Jesus with a number of followers who was crucified. And then there's this idea that Paul referred to that particular Jesus when he had his visions. So there is certain credibility that Jesus has existed, the one that Paul mentioned. Now, of course, everything Paul said about him, his divine being, is bullshit, of course. But
yeah,
but it doesn't really matter because no Christian today is behaving like they're living in year 30 in Judea, fighting the Romans. What have they ever done for us?
Aqueducts?
Yeah.
Right. Cheers. You already finished yours, man.
Well, maybe I like maple.
Oh yeah, we'll have to. We do need to grade this somehow. So I actually found it was a bit much at one time, but I have to say now that I've finished it, I did enjoy it. It was enjoyable. I will give it 5. It was off balance because it was too much, but still, a beer experience like this is not one that you come across every day.
I was about to say something like this for a 5 as well. That it wasn't. It's hard to say it's a very good beer, but sort of the artistic impression of overdoing it. It was an experience more than a good taste, and that earns it some points as well. And it wasn't bad. Not at all. So I'm going for a 5 as well.
Yeah, let's give it 5.
Yeah, it's not one I would have 2 of in a row.
No. Maybe we should have another one that is easy on the alcohol. We'll see about that. Oh, sorry. Oh.
Never mind.